Hello, good evening, Chiwempala. Good evening, world. Good evening, Zambia, Africa, Asia, Europe, wherever you are hearing us from. We understand that if there is a continent of Antarctica, they should also be connecting with us here. We are going to give you a few minutes to spread the word around. Now, yesterday, we may have broken some record because we understand that some political leaders were following us. So we are urging them to follow us today again so that we break the records. But in addition to that, we want to set the record straight. And as usual, on TV Bakwetu, we don't try to beat around the bush. To pitafe straight, palikandolo. We are going to pay attention to your comments today, and we are going to look at some of the comments that you're going to tell us. And the whole reason is because there is a lot of confusion. So in the midst of this confusion, we want to come and give you perspective. I am now going to hand over to my co-host, General Chipakupaku, and then he's going to say hello, and then he's going to get started on this story. But we have a lot to talk to you about. Mr. Norman Chipakupaku, over to you.
Good evening, Chiwempala. Good evening, Lundazi tonight. Lundazi, good evening to my good friends in Kitwe, because I know I've got a lot of friends in Kitwe. Good evening to my good friends in Kasama today. And good evening to the people of Monte, the good people of Monte tonight. And to all our Zambians and our viewers everywhere, wherever you are, greetings from Scotland, a beautiful day here in Scotland. How are you getting on, Musha, in Canada?
I had court this morning. It was a very good result for my client. It's something known as a simplified trial in the provincial court, but yeah. So it drains you. Court drains you, even if you're going there for 2 hours. You know, it just has a way of draining. So I'm a little drained, but I have water, and then I have all these issues because these issues renew me. That's why we come on TV Bakwetu. It's for us to get revived and renewed. So that's why I'm here.
Wow. I enjoyed reading the comments yesterday, and it's very interesting to see that, first of all, Jeremy, you are here, you're just listening. How are you doing? Can you say hello to our viewers tonight?
Thank you, General. Good evening, everyone here in Zambia, and good evening, everyone who's following us from different parts of the world. General and Dr. Mwish, I want to mention to you that today I got my COVID vaccine. I got the Johnson vaccine. The vaccine, I made sure that I pushed it until the ministry just had to bring it, because I told them to say, you are bringing AstraZeneca. No, for me, you'll not have it easy way. But if you bring Johnson, we'll have it the easy way. And for sure, I can tell you, by tomorrow, the 151,000 doses will finish, because the turnout is very, very good for the people who want to get vaccinated. So as I'm saying myself, with a single shot, I'm fully vaccinated.
Fantastic. So how many doses have gone to the Copper Belt, and how many have been distributed to other provinces? Are you aware of that?
Yes, I'm aware, but as of today, nothing yet has been distributed to the Copper Belt and other parts of the country. All are still in Lusaka. There is a huge turnout of people in Lusaka want to be vaccinated. But besides that, I'm receiving a lot of calls from the people on the Copper Belt, requesting and asking when the vaccines will be distributed or will be coming to Copper Belt. As of today in the morning, there was a meeting about sharing the allocations for the same vaccine for different provinces. But I can assure you, Lusaka, just today alone, there is a huge turnout of people who wanted to get vaccinated with the Johnson. So I don't know if they are going to, how they are going to share. Because if they share equally per province, it means that per province is going to receive about 15,000 doses. But when you check very well, you find that Lusaka itself, it has a huge number of people who are turning up to get vaccinated. 15,000 can even finish in a day. So that's the challenge. Now the problem which was there was just it was taking time for you to get vaccinated. You stand in a queue for about 3 or 4 hours for you to get vaccinated. Well, once you go inside again, you find that only 2 people are jabbing, which should not be the case. Since there is a higher demand and people want Johnson vaccine, I was thinking the Ministry of Health supposed to recruit more health workers. Sorry for that. More health workers. The Ministry of Health was supposed to recruit more health workers to help with the vaccination process, so that each one who goes to get vaccinated, they should not be spending more than 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes is okay. You go there, they fill in, you get jabbed, you go to do other things. For me, that's what I feel, how the system supposed to be efficient, not the way you go in the morning, you go around 6 hours, you are coming out around 10 or 11 hours. That's not the way it's supposed to be.
No, that's good news. That's really, really good news. We just wish the 251,000 doses of Johnson and J&J can be given to all our people as quickly as possible. Over to you, Musha. Let's start this beautiful day, this Friday. And by the way, for those who are in Zambia, it's happy Sabbath to those of you who go to the 7th day as well. So over to you, Musha.
On Tuesday, I don't know what happened on Tuesday. I was wishing Sabbath goers a happy Sabbath on a Tuesday. And when I realized my mistake, I just kept it there because sometimes we are stubborn for no reason. So, so to those that I wish a happy Sabbath on Tuesday, I'm going to wish you a happy Sabbath today. Anyway, General, you see, the way the system that is supposed to be confusing works. And in fact, all the systems of Ponzi schemes, and we spoke about it the last time. Ponzi schemes, they work for others and not work for some. How do you know that it's a Ponzi scheme? There are some people who swear when they are being kelenkaed by a Ponzi scheme to say, we got our money, we got our 30% return, we got our 50% return, and in fact, these fraudulent people, they use that as a tool to recruit others. When this government came up with this debt swap, Kelenka debt swap, we knew exactly what it was. We knew they did not have the money to implement it. Secondly, we knew that they had not even gone to negotiate with anyone. They just made it up. And the entire goal for what they were doing was to try and deceive teachers, particularly teachers, into voting for them when the election came. That is what we thought. The other thing, we knew that it was going to be a default. So this government was going to hold back from remitting the money, from deducting from the Public Management Service Division payroll. They were going to do what? To stop deducting, at least for this month, give the impression as if they've done a debt swap. We knew that that was going to happen. However, not everyone has been affected by this. In other words, what the government was saying was a lie. Secondly, when they actually implemented, or they claim to implement it, they shortchange others. They pay very few and shortchange the others. And this leads us to the conclusion that we had started with, that this was a Kelenka move aimed at deceiving our civil service during this crucial and critical time of election. That is what it was. Now, it has backfired today because some civil servants have quite all right received what is known as being called a full pay, and yet others have had their loans deducted through deduct, and so they've not benefited from this Kelenka move. We saw it, we knew it, we called it for what it was, and today is another day that shows us the evidence of this confusion.
Musha, listening to the Secretary of the Treasury today, confirms to me that they didn't think through the so-called debt swap, which I call the debt trap. They rushed to announce it without thinking it through. He says it's going to be, there'll be no monies involved. It's going to be financially, there'll be no money involved to the government. It's not going to cost the government a penny. That's what he said today.
Right.
How?
Yeah.
If he's saying it's not going to cost the government a penny to have these deals, the secretary to the treasury is lying, because you cannot just clear a debt without paying.
Right.
So to me, this was a political gimmick which went wrong, and
Right.
it ended up dividing the civil service. Some people have had their deductions done. Some people have got their money in. Some people are saying no. Bayport is saying no. The teachers' unions are saying, the teachers' union are split. So it's a game which has failed to work.
Right.
And to me, it's politics. It's trying to announce politics so that they could get some political mileage out of it. It's not working. It has not worked.
Right.
Yeah, General, just to come in, you see the issue of debt swap, which now they have introduced on the pay slips to say now civil servants pay slips, they have an allowance called the debt swap, and it is reflecting according to the debt they are paying. So but these guys are interesting. Me, what I was saying, just like I mentioned yesterday, there's no need of even having issues of debt swap and all that. What is needed is for the government to create vacancies and promote the people supposed to be promoted. For example, those for health workers, they are supposed to give them what is called the shift allowance, which government grabbed from them without any reason. They are supposed to promote them to their rightful positions. They are supposed, for teachers, they are supposed to give them what is called double class allowance, something like that. They are supposed also to promote them. Those teachers who have done degrees, they should they'll promote them to the position of being degrees. Those teachers who have been promoted as HODs, they are supposed to confirm them, because we have seen a lot of teachers who have been moving with letters of promotion but without confirmation. That's it. You a teacher to weekend, but you're still for a salary class. Obviously, now these guys are not agreeing for you to say they are kerenkas. That's very true. How can you be promoted as a headmaster, but you are still getting paid as a class teacher? Again, not a degree class teacher, but a diploma class teacher. Well, on the other side, they have given you a fake letter to say we have promoted you to be the headmaster without any confirmation. Some have even worked for 10 years, some have worked for 5 years and all that. So what they're supposed to do, they should make sure that they promote the teachers, they confirm the teachers who have promotions, and they create vacancies for the new teachers. Not this thing of saying 3 months will not cut. It will not help out at all. And moreover, we are voting on the 12th. By 12th, all civil servants will be blocked. So what will happen?
Right. Okay. And in fact, it's just a few affected civil servants. In other words, this Kalenka system, they've made it to work for just a few who were receiving their salaries through the Public Service Management Division payroll. And so those are the ones that they are going to highlight as if the system has worked. When in fact, a bulk of civil servants, I have several civil servants today that were in touch with me, and they told me that Bayport still deducted. And they told me that several other banks still deducted. They still deduct. So all these things that they were announcing was not true. It was a lie, and we caught them. Now, I need to address. Yeah, go ahead, Jen.
Yes, sorry about that. Meanwhile, Musha, it looks like even ambassadors, like Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, is now a government spokesman for the debt swap. And I find it very, very difficult that even diplomats are now playing the roles which are not, they're playing propaganda. It's all a propaganda game now. So
Right.
when I read the piece of Mr. Mwamba, because I can't call him His Excellence because he's not His Excellence, he's behaving like a cadre. So Mr. Emmanuel Mwamba.
No, General, a person who is a diplomat is His Excellency. It doesn't matter whether they are Kandolo or anything. They are still His Excellence Kandolo. Please.
Mr. Musha, I respect titles for people who deserve them. Ambassadors, real ambassadors, our high commissioners and ambassadors, those who are professional are supposed to be addressed as Your Excellency because they represent the country. But if they lower themselves and become cadres, I call them by their names, by their first names. In this case, it's Emmanuel Kandolo, Emmanuel Kandolo Mwamba. He is playing a game of propaganda. So right. That's what I wanted to make sure that I think Mwamba, if he's listening to us, do your job at the African Union, Mr. Mwamba, as our ambassador in Ethiopia as well. Do not be playing games.
Right.
Now, playing politics. Over to you, Musha.
Now, General, I'm going to explain something about senior civil servants and constitutionalism. This is very important. I feel very strongly about it. In our system of government, politicians are policy makers.
Yep.
That's our system of government. In other words, we are a democracy, so it's the people who elect. When people elect, they elect politicians, and then these politicians become the governors. That's why abateke chalo ma politicians. And then these politicians, they are directly responsible to the people. They are accountable to the people. They are given the agenda by the people. We have our opinions about them and everything else. And then these policymakers, they then appoint a technocracy. That is, they appoint teachers, they have the civil service, they even have senior civil servants. The system is simple. Politicians set policy. Politicians are accountable to the people. Politicians are accountable to our democratic system, and then the politicians hire senior civil servants. Now, when we are in a holding pattern, like we do, where our politicians have gone back in the field to seek a fresh mandate from the people, that 90 days period is supposed to be a situation where the president, the vice president, and the civil service, they hold the country together. During that time, you are not going to be making far-reaching political policy decisions. The reason is simple, because the politicians are not yet back in town. The president is still carrying out executive functions and the government is still going on. However, as far as big political decisions are concerned, senior civil servants cannot be making those decisions for us when our politicians have gone into the field to seek a fresh mandate from the electorate. It is unconstitutional, it is illegal for this cadre of senior civil servants to commit our country, or even to talk about committing our country to another internal debt burden of 12 billion kwacha before the politicians show up in 20 days. That is not right. That is illegal. That's a coup d'etat. Because the secretary to the cabinet has no accountability to the people. What else can we say to Miti? Because Miti, there is no direct link between the people and Simon Miti, between the people and Amos Malupenga. There is no direct link. We, as the people of Zambia, deserve to have a direct link with the people that are setting policy. We don't have that direct link with Amos Malupenga, but if these civil servants continue acting like politicians, then they have done a coup d'etat on the government. They have usurped the responsibilities of politicians. They have usurped the responsibilities of what we, as the people of Zambia, are supposed to elect. What is wrong with waiting 20 more days in order for you to to be directed by the policymakers that we are going to elect. What is so urgent about you coming up with far-reaching decisions that are going to affect our domestic arrears and expand our domestic arrears to 12 billion kwacha more? This is not right. This is not constitutional. This is illegal. It's immoral. It is wrong. Here is another thing. When we elect our government in 20 days, what will happen to these commitments that these civil servants want to commit Zambia to? What will happen to them?
Yeah.
Is it the technocracy now that will be leading our politicians? Our system of government says no. Technocrats do not direct our government in our system. It is politicians who direct. It's decisions that are coming from our politicians. The other thing is, what Simon Miti and Amos Malupenga are saying is that this program of a debt swap, it's not a program of a debt swap. In fact, it is a program of wanting to commit our government to 12 billion kwacha debt. All right. What they are saying is that it was started by the politicians and these guys are just implementing. Amos and Simon Miti, when our politicians are out of town, it means that political agenda, that policy agenda has ended. If our politicians did not push it, it means there were political considerations why they did not push it. You guys that have no accountability to the politics and no accountability to the people cannot insist on implementing something that our politicians said they could not do. This, therefore, is a coup d'etat. There is no other way of putting it. Because in these 90 days, mufure mwaichindika mulelo kweba chabene mushi, bamwine mushi, bakesa, ngabaisa, eva katungulula, ekutungululo mochalola. It's not for you civil servants, senior civil servants. Okwamba konomba tichao pena, mwambo kubepa abantu. You commit this country to 12 billion kwacha. Elo chikabesha ninga babwela. It can be either way. It can either that why Malupenga committed this government to 12 billion kwacha in debt. This is not right. General.
Musha, policies normally have cost implications. Right. And if there's any cost to be, any money to be spent by government, it has to be authorized by parliament. We don't have parliament.
Right.
And so if they're adding extra burden on the internal debt,
right,
that debt has to be authorized by parliament. What is even surprising more is that the people are announcing, these technocrats are announcing, we are going to spend another 50 million kwacha on mass. Was that budgeted for? Was it,
right,
were all these expenses budgeted for?
Right.
So you are very right, Musha. It looks like our civil servants don't have the boundaries. They don't know where the boundaries are drawn. That's why you've got ambassadors issuing statements. You've got ambassadors being withdrawn to come and campaign. You've got DCs doing strange things. You've got people like Malupenga, the Secretary of the Cabinet, just announcing policies overnight. And you're very, very right, Musha. That is a sign of complete chaos in a democratic system, because there must be a boundary between the technocrats, the civil service, and the politicians.
Right.
At the moment, it looks like civil servants want to be politicians as well.
Well, General, it's very simple. If Dr. Simon Kandolo Miti and Amos Kandolo Malupenga want to be politicians, it's very simple. Uyumula nduku upishafe pali Kandolo, tuatarala no kutarala. You go and seek political mandate from the people of Zambia. That's it. The same mandate that politicians have gone to do, even Chitaluchirufia has gone back to Mansa. Mr. Dr. Bonanza, if you are enda mu Mansa, ale ungwa afye. But he's seeking mandate from the people of Zambia. Ministry of Health. He's still gone back to the people of Zambia to seek mandate. They've tried to go back to the people of Zambia. While they're out of town, the civil servants, senior civil servants, cannot begin growing brains in 90 days. Vale chitakona kali muchalo chavo. No, ichi chalo chave na Zambia. Imo mwema civil servants, you were appointed so that you help our policy makers implement political policy. While they are gone, in 90 days, kula ba idat dissolution of parliament. In 90 days, it means number nga muashala po. Kushala fye mule sungirira. Ati ama politicians ba mwene mushi bakabwela. Nga babwela bakatweba ama political policy priorities. Yali ama priorities eyo tukachita implement. Imwete within 90 days. Mwalanda tiyo mwashikula if that they failed to do ama politicians vafirwa. Ero numba mwasa fishikula in 90 days. Ati ififine fetu wala chita implement. That is a coup d'etat. That is not right. President Lungu, quite all right, is still head of state. Tatule Kana, Nabawina is still deputy head of state. Tatule Kana. Icho turela ndoko, but even the constitution spells out, Lungu is holding and carrying out executive functions. Pakwebate, wukateka tapali vacuum. That's what it is. But there is no parliament. Parliament is dissolved. There are some things that he cannot do. Number imomu atampa kokola chita commit this country to debt, to several commitments, while our politicians are not. You see, we have issues with politicians, and that is our system. The politician who we scrutinize them, as people in Zambia, I think our politician politician, we have an opinion. We have an opinion about our politicians. That is our system of government. That is our system of government. Number imwe ba malupenga na ba Dr. Simon Meet. You want to take over the country? That is a coup d'etat. So all these things you are saying, they are illegal. What will happen after the new people come in? After the politicians return? Kumush.
No, in a normal situation.
And under whose mandate? Who is giving you this political mandate to do what you are claiming to do? That's why we are concluding, Okobate. All these are just gimmicks. Somebody is misleading you. If it's the president, do not carry out some of these instructions from a president if they are illegal instructions.
Yeah, you're right, okay. Musha. You're right, Musha. And I mean, Jeremy, I know the difference between the civil service and politicians, and there must be a very clear line. What do you think, Jeremy? Because what is happening, in my view, is that people like the permanent secretary, DMMU, is not acting like a permanent secretary, Mr. Kabwe. He's acting like a politician. So what's your view? What's your view, Jerome?
General, what Dr. Munch has mentioned and has said, I think that's the thing I've been also talking about in my area of field, the health sector. Because as you know very well, in the budget for 2021, we had to put 1.4 billion kwacha for issues of procuring drugs and the vaccines. And from the 1.2 billion kwacha, about 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, we were told that the means of finance have released about 900 and something million kwacha towards that, meaning that we are only remaining with about a small amount of money in kwacha form. Now, you hear that the government has procured 4.4 million doses of Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Now you wonder to say, look, the money here which we budgeted for cannot procure these vaccines because each dose of a vaccine is about $8. Now multiply $8.
Jeremy, just before you proceed, let's make it very, very clear. The Johnson & Johnson 251,000 doses the Zambian government has not paid not even a single penny, not even a single ngwe. This is a donation, a commitment by the US government through the G7 meeting which they had. So the Zambian government should not lie. The Minister of Health should not lie that they've spent money on the Johnson & Johnson vaccines. All these are donations. Even the first doses you got were donations. So please, let's make it very, very clear. Zambian government has not spent a ngwe on vaccines.
General, yeah, I understand about the 300,000 doses of Johnson & Johnson that is coming from the United States government. But again, on the other hand, the government has also procured 4.4 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson, which will come in Zambia in September. That's what the statement the Ministry of Health has told us. But the issue which is here is, this is the money in dollars. And this is, again, millions of money in dollars which we have spent. The minimum cost of a vaccine, like for Johnson & Johnson, we put it at $8. When you multiply 8, multiplied by 4.4 million doses, multiplied by 22, you find that it's a huge amount of money. Who authorized that amount of money? Because the politicians who are supposed to communicate and go to parliament and decide.
I think Jerome, we are in an emergency, so if you have to buy medicines, I think they have to buy medicines. But the difficulty part is, and if we are in a holding pattern, right? Because in a holding pattern, you are governing. So president is still carrying out executive functions, and you are governing to hold the country, right? To hold the country. You're not proposing far-reaching new policies. All those policies that were stopped in the previous life of parliament, you put a stop to them. You continue governing. If it's health, you continue helping our people keep together. That is what we need to do in the holding pattern. So I wouldn't fault the purchase of medication or vaccines. I do understand our concerns we have over debt, right? They can't go and borrow a lot of money.
But look, the situation which I'm trying to say here, I'm not saying the buying of the vaccine is wrong. No, it is very right. But the issue which is there, the money that is involved, which is coming from the state coffer, which will affect learning of other government businesses, is coming from the central government. And this now involves the politicians who are not around, who are supposed to communicate to us. Now you find that we have not been communicated to on how much money the government is going to spend on the 4.4 million doses. Well, other countries are communicating to their citizens how much each dose and how much their government is contributing or putting for the amount of vaccine that are coming. But yet it's not happening because of these things of civil servant sapping up the powers of the politicians, which should not be the case.
Right. I think that is the truth. And so we need to be very clear about the order of how our system of government works, and we need to guard against the usurpation of power by our technocrats. Zambia is not a technocracy; it is a democracy. Imwe ma technocrats ngabamishira ati yo. Ama politicians baya bebere take care system elo no mwashara ati muri bene iyo tamuri bene so just hold on 20 more days ichindikeni twapapata ichindikeni ngati wamupela ama politicians eba kamutungulule efya kuchita Now I want to move to another topic, General. Are we ready?
Yes, let's move on.
General, I want to ask you some questions and I want straight answers. I don't want long answers. It's either yes or no, okay? So here it is. General, in 2015, the kwacha depreciated. Do you agree or not?
In 2015, as far as I'm concerned, it depreciated from what it was in 2011 when PF took over.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
You are explaining too many things.
Yes.
What happened in 2016? Did the kwacha depreciate?
Yes, it did.
What happened in 2017? Did the kwacha depreciate?
Yes, it did.
Now, I want to add one more thing. 2015 under Lungu, kwacha depreciated. 2016 under Lungu, kwacha depreciated. 2017 under Lungu, kwacha depreciated. 2018 under Lungu, kwacha depreciated. 2019 under Lungu, kwacha depreciated. 2020 under Lungu, kwacha depreciated. 2021 general, kwacha depreciated. I want you to know. So from 2015 to 2021, kwacha has been depreciating because of what?
The simple reason is that there is no productivity in the economy, and Zambia is a major importer of goods, and we're not producing anything to earn more dollars.
Now, General,
that's why the kwacha has been nosediving. And as I said a few weeks ago, I've never seen the kwacha lose so much value in the last 20-something years I've been in this country. One time last week, it reached 31 pounds 20 per kwacha, per pound. And that was shocking, very, very shocking. Go ahead, Mr.
Now, General, I'm not very intelligent. I'm not. I come from Chiwempala, General. So as a person from Chiwempala, nabafi pakati. And I just use a mano ayachifiadirwa. Because, so when I looked at the appreciation today, I was, if, are we back on? Because I think we are back on.
Like
if your currency has been depreciating, right?
Yes.
If the currency has been depreciating from 2015, it's depreciating. And then 20 days before elections, the currency appreciates. General, nangu dawasa mbitira sana kutuwamono kwebati, what is causing it to appreciate 20 days before the election?
There are two factors, Musha. The first factor is that the investors are sniffing that there's going to be change. That's the first factor. That they are sniffing.
The kwacha suddenly.
Offshore investors. Go ahead.
So what you are saying is the kwacha is going down, down, down. 20 days before the election, the kwacha begins smelling something nice. General, is that true?
Yes. Offshore investors all along they've been holding to their dollars, and all of a sudden they are sniffing something. They're sniffing something positive. That way, that is the confidence we're talking about. That is the first factor. The second factor is that 2 days or 3 days ago, the central bank offloaded a lot of dollars because they've been selling treasury bonds, government bonds, but they've also offloaded dollars on the market. What happens when you offload more dollars on the market? The kwacha will sort of appreciate. It's appreciating because there are more dollars than before. So there are two factors here. And in my view, the biggest factor is that the investors and the offshore investors are sniffing something positive. They are seeing.
Now, that's too complicated, General, because even when you are a business analyst, just taking it from Chiwempala, what I'm thinking is the kwacha yambo kununsha yanunsho kwebati apa HH is likely to win in 20 days.
No, maybe
very clear. If you heard what HH said, and people like Kambwili was saying, even all the peer people, there's something called confidence in economics. When HH says when he is sworn in at 12 o'clock, by 2 o'clock, by 3 o'clock, the kwacha will definitely appreciate against currency, because that's what the economy. That's how the economy works.
Right.
It's confident. But just before you come in, Jeremy, you should also remember that the central bank in the last 2 days has offloaded so many dollars on the market, because the central bank can also influence the value of the kwacha by offloading dollars. And remember also, there have been these government bonds which have been sold. So that is what has caused that shift from 24 kwacha down to 22. Over to you, Jeremy.
General, for me, I have a different theory. How come the kwacha appreciation has collided or have come at the same day the police were protesting? Maybe that's the main reason.
The police were protesting.
The police were protesting for political violence.
Yeah, our Jerome, please, we are discussing something serious. Eh?
After the protest from the police, the kwacha has appreciated. Don't you think so? Because of the police?
Anyway,
Musha, I've never heard the office, the Inspector General going to the compounds and saying, please, we want peaceful elections. I've never heard of that. We don't remove other people's posters, please. Do not do that. 20 days before elections. The job of the police inspector general is to arrest these people and not going to plead for them to say,
No, General. I think the police were trying to educate, because part of their role as law enforcement is to educate. So now they are trying to educate. That's why they had told me, please. That has no. They have no connection to the dollar, Jerome? They were educating the masses. It was an education. Okay, now, that's why I say it. And so we have our friend Chisenga, Kings Mumbi. General, I don't want you to say that Kings should go to Congo. If you say that, I'm going to get extremely disappointed and angry. Please don't mention anything about Congo as far as Kings is concerned.
Musha, let me drink some water first before I respond to this.
Okay, now, the wisdom, amano ndebo mfya, yakwebati, if in 5 years, umuntu aleteka, aini, lungwe udipo, ero nomba kwacha, yachita depreciate. Ero nomba 20 days before elections, kwacha yachita shani, yambo kuchita appreciate. What it tells me is that kwacha yambo kununsha something that is going to happen in 20 days. And as a result, yatampa kokuchita appreciate. Pantu, uyu alipo for 5 years, yale ya ilepo. Now, even this year, the kwacha has gone down this year. So number in 20 days, kwacha yaishiva. Ukwebati, valiaba lengero kobati kwacha ipone inshta. Ya Afrika akashimika abo kaleya kalepela nomba ero nomba kwacha yaishiwa kuba tikuliko umbi nomba utampira okuchitashani okushimika akashimika pia atamba kwati kwali akantunze kaikerengefi atampa kokushimika kwacha yamba nokulondoloka. This is why the kwacha today has appreciated. And it has begun, because now it is beginning to know ukweba ati kwa mwala ingiro omwa mu State House uwaba steady omwa wakweba ati tasabaira fie everywhere. No, uwaba steady, uwaishiba economy, uwaishiba the biggest problem we have in Zambia, which is fiscal indiscipline. Eo alaisa mu State House. So because of that, kwacha yaishiba. So now, since the kwacha knows this, imwemwebe na Zambia, civil servants, citizens, from Nakonde to Mongu to Solwezi to Chipata to Chirundu to Chiwempala, bonse imwemwebe na Zambia, do what the kwacha is telling you to do. Kuba funyapo ababa lengero ko bat kwacha ichitenos dive. Pakwebati mubike pomo pia akontolo lekwe fintu. Epera. General.
Musha, let me respond to what I'm seeing on the screen. First of all, my young man, Kings Malembe, you don't know economics. You've never studied economics. So whoever has written this little sentence for you, probably he must have studied economics at night as well. Okay. we have not had major exports of crops because you have not even bought your crops. So you cannot lie to say the kwacha is gained because we have had major exports. You haven't even bought your maize. Oh, you haven't even bought your maize, and you are saying we have had major exports, increased exports of crops. Which crops have you exported?
Candolo, General, Candolo.
It says because the energy crisis is over. Come on, Malembe. We have only added 150 megawatts today. And this is not fully operational. And you are saying that is come on, Malembe. I don't want to really tell you to say, please go to school, go to night school.
Did you say Congo? At least you did not mention Kinshasa.
You said I should not talk about Congo. Okay?
Right.
Now he goes to say, he says smooth handling of elections. The elections are not over. How can you say smooth handling of elections when yesterday you were saying HH and UPND has got 60,000 militia? You think the Kwacha can appreciate like that? There's no smooth elections. It's not yet over. And then he says because of the credible electoral process. Come on, Malembe, get real.
No. I think, General, when you call him Malembe, it sounds as if he's Congolese.
No,
he's not Malembe. Okay.
What's his name? His king.
His name is Chisenga. No. Ni Chisenga wakwesu kulwapula. Ni Chisenga. He's not Malembe. Malembe gives the impression kwati ni Kasai. Babululu shesu wa Kasai. I'm with you. Hain. Ni chabala mube pesha.
Let me not waste time. Let me not waste time. What is his name? Real name again?
Chisenga Mumbi.
Chisenga Mumbi. Mwaiche wandi kabiya school. Okay. Do not allow people like Emmanuel Mwamba, who did a diploma at Evelyn Horn, to start talking about economics. He does not know anything about economics. Because that statement looks like it has been written for him by Emmanuel Mwamba or somebody from the government. Don't embarrass yourself, Chisenga Mwaichewandi. Kabiya go school. Okay?
No.
After 2 years, Mwaichewandi, come, that's when we can talk. Meanwhile, just listen to this discussion. We can then share information. Over to you.
No, General. That statement actually came from His Excellency Emmanuel Mwamba's page.
Exactly. That's what I knew. From the way it was written, I knew it's exactly from Mwamba. That's how he writes. Mwamba never studied economics. He studied journalism, a diploma at Evelyn Horn. That's all he knows.
But look, Dr. Mwich, look, as much as you are saying, you have said that someone has been a president for almost 7 years now, going into 8 years, or 8 years, if I can say so. And the kwacha has been depreciating. Now, all of a sudden, after the police protest, the kwacha has appreciated. You see? So, why are you refusing my theory? You see? Why are you refusing my theory? Because
your theory could work, but in economics, it doesn't work that way. What is really strange is that yesterday, somebody was saying, we have got 60,000 militia, and then the following day, the kwacha appreciates, and people are saying the electoral process is working. The elections are. We haven't finished these elections. We still have 19 days. Malembe, where are you? 19 days to go. And the observers are just arriving now to observe these elections. So you cannot say the elections have been done peacefully, and you cannot say the kwacha is responding to elections. Especially when you say export of maize, you have never had a farm. Me, I've got a farm. We are harvesting our crops now. We are ready for selling it. You can't export something which is not bought. FRA only has enough maize for 3 months to keep you going until you finish marketing your crop. So Emmanuel Mambai, he has never studied economics. Thank you. Over to you, Musha.
Yeah, thank you. And so these are some of the things that we like talking about. I think so because of it's TV bakwetu, we have different opinions. Imwe mwanakona kalimo, we just are in a, where we are just agreeing with each other. We disagree here. Each person alondolola poefu alemona. Elo imwe mwebandu ni mwebere okay filia mwachiba mano. Mulia amano mwe yachiba nomba noti amano sana. Elo mulia tamwachiba amano. We want you to be able to think about it. The other thing is, we also provide a different alternative to the government, because government yabufi, and government has a bigger platform. Government has the president, vice president, permanent secretaries, and even ambassadors speaking for it. So na ifwenomba tufure tualanda ko our own opinion about this matter. But I find it very interesting. I think as we go towards the elections, you, the people of Zambia, do what the Kwacha is doing and put confidence in a new guy. New umupia. Eseko with a different perspective, a fresh perspective. Tuanaka with this perspective, yama Ponzi schemes kelenkas. Okay? I think we've got to end here, General.
No, Musha, I want to ask one question. You've been asking me yes or no. In 2015, Mr. Edgar Chagwalungu declared that his assets were 2 million kwacha. 18 months later, after becoming president, in office for 18 months, he declared that he had 23 million kwacha as his assets. And that really shocked me, because the president doesn't get that amount of money per month.
Right.
Okay. For him in 18 months to jump from 2 million in 18 months to 23 million. This year, we hear he has declared even more. So my question is, why is ECZ not telling us how much Mr. Lungu is worth? How much these people have declared? What are they hiding? And Mr. Lungu, you have declared more. I will not mention the figure now. I want ECZ to tell Zambians how much Mr. Lungu, how much Hari Kalaba, how much Dr. Nevas Mumba, how much HH are worth, so that we can then multiply how much Lungu gets per month and find out where he has got all this money from.
Right.
Zambians must demand that ECZ must tell us, because there's no secret in this world.
Right.
Over to you.
So what was happening was, while the Kwacha was nosediving, President Lungu's money was going up and up and up and up. Nomba ni bachinondo. Abantu abali abachushi. Lero ni bachinondo. This is serious. Jerome, Jerome, there is somebody who has made a comment that homosexuals have no place in Zambia.
You see, I don't know if I need. You see, when you see such comments, just know that someone has side effects of rabies. Those are some of the, or I can say, someone has symptoms of rabies. Those are symptoms of rabies.
my comment, Musha, is that I watched a mad woman who went into a mosque this afternoon, and this woman, I think she's mad. And she went into a mosque and told the people in the mosque that HH and the UPND are going to bring homosexuality in Zambia. And it just reminded me of what they were talking about Sata before he became president. Right, and this mad woman went into a mosque. You know, I respect the church, I respect the mosque, I met the synagogue, and for anybody to go into a synagogue, a mosque, and a church and tell such lies, I find it incredible, Musha.
Yeah.
I think you guys who are running the medical facilities in Zambia, can you take that woman to Chainama and test her? I think she's sick.
No, General, that's not true. Those are symptoms of rabies. That's what I can say. Because even Chainama, that person will be rejected to say, no, this we cannot treat. This they look like rabies.
Clinton Mitty, there is nobody who has talked about homosexuality in Zambia. The Constitution of Zambia is very clear. We are Christians, okay? So that nonsense, that's the same nonsense you're talking about, Sata. Sata ended up becoming a president of Zambia. So stop this nonsense, because including that woman, that mad woman, you are spreading lies. We know you've run out of the agenda. You started with privatization. After that, farm number 124. After that, it was the Lima Bank account. Then it was, what else have you got? KCM. Now you're talking of homosexuality. Just stop it.
And the statement is homosexuals have no place in Zambia. That's actually illegal. This statement right now is actually against the Constitution of Zambia. Zambia has not decriminalized homosexuals. Zambia criminalizes same-sex sex. In fact, according to the law itself, it says against the order of nature. And against the order of nature, it means, it does not just mean about a man or a man and a man having sex, or a woman and a woman having sex. Against the order of nature, even some of the relations that you have between a man and a woman, it can be a criminal offense. Including ukuliana, it's a criminal offense. So kanjwa Clinton pano therefore kuichindika pantu, we are very respectable people. Noma pantu muapisheria shi palikandolo. Na ifutu wala pishapu palikandolo. Ukuliana is a criminal offense in Zambia, according to against the laws of nature. That's what it is. Ain kujierana. It's a criminal offense, and so that is what the law says. The law does not say that a person can be imprisoned simply because they are homosexual, because homosexuality is an orientation, and so the Zambian police cannot arrest a person because you are a homosexual. And in fact, Clinton Mitty, there are quite a good number of homosexuals right in Zambia. You know them.
Exactly.
You even know them.
Exactly.
And sometimes we need to help out our young men who could be struggling with same-sex attraction, because sometimes abapatasane chintu. How can you know? Insecure in their sexuality, so they tend to compensate it by over condemnation, right?
Musha, some of them even marry and make a lot of noise. We know that.
Yeah.
So please, Clinton, uzatulakwisa. We don't want to say much. Okay. So please, you, Clinton, and that woman, don't bring this subject, because we know where we are going. That's the same things you said about Sata. Complete rubbish. Whether you talk about privatization, whether you talk about farm number 124, whether you talk about KCM, whether you talk about all these militia 60,000, whether you like it or not, church is winning this election. Finish.
Yeah. Thank you very much, General. This has been a very enlightening discussion.
Let's not run away. Let's get a few comments, just 3 or 4. I think it will help our viewers.
They are responding to some comments. Some are responding to Mr. Chisenga Mumbi, Winangumbo. Others are responding to like Mia Admini is responding to Boniface Prince Chidongo at bye.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. So there's no other serious comments which we might respond to.
Now bye. Chisenga Mumbi, we only got our minds 2 to 3 months ago, guys, and now we are getting yeah. I'm losing patience. You see, Kings, Malembe, I'm on your side, but even me, I'm losing patience.
Which mind has he got? Because KCM is still in court. KCM has been making losses. So, Malembe, go and drink some water, man. Just some water, you feel much better. So, if there's nothing you know about mining, Zambia has not got any mines so far. So, Tabia Mukulala, or drink some water. And if you're like me, drink a nice cup of tea, you'll feel better, Malembe. Don't show your ignorance in public because you look more. In fact, it will be better for you to sing, Malembe. Just sing a nice song rather than talk about economics.
Inakwena nachepa. Iyi question ni general nachepa. Ndine mwana mungono. Sininga yanke question yai.
Musha for us non-members at what is ukudiana? Ina sini mulemba, sini visiva ina, sini visiva. Mukafunza wameni wakamba mawa wamena. Me, I don't know. So, Bajina Choa, Nishishi Mkwai. I don't know.
Limbi mwa kanika na mwishiwa. Ni vichani vamene hivi.
Tene na chiranda. Awe, nempeli pilipili na gompeli kwa babu.
No, sola pilipili baji.
Nango mutapirishe onion. So the laws in Zambia actually say that any sex that is outside the order of nature is a criminal offense. You can be locked up for 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years. And so against the order of nature, Kuriana, Mulandu. Not only that it's against tradition, member tradition, but the police can actually charge you. So, I was just trying to expand this topic to meet with things that homosexuals is whatever. I just wanted to clarify what the law says. Munjerereko, Nishalande, what that means.
So, Munsha, further down, Chani, further down King's Right School is ready. Oh, Awe, but Phil Matthews, Kasarava. No, we've given our young man Kings 2 years to go to night school. And I recommended which night school, so I'm not going to say waste time. And he's now trying to talk about mines. He doesn't know anything about mining. So you're right. Right.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having joined us today. To those that send us stars, thank you. Please keep stars coming. And to those that need to subscribe to our Facebook or YouTube and subscribe and become a supporter of TV Bakweto, please do so. Otherwise, it's always a pleasure to have a chat with you. Now me here, I must go back to my files. What a good distraction it was, but I must go back to work. I'm not saying that this is not work. This is work. This is very serious. Serious. General?
Musha, we are going to be bringing 2 MPs from each province starting from tomorrow.
Right.
To hear what their situations are. If it's a PF MP, if it's a UPN MP, those who are willing to talk to us, we want to hear, but we will ask them specific questions. We only give them few minutes to answer specific questions. So get ready. And we are also bringing HH. We are still waiting for Mr. Lungu to tell us whether he wants to come here. I think Chipampe looks surprised every time when we talk about this. We are very serious about Chipampe. We want our HH, Mr. Lungu to come here.
Our resident pharmacist, please say something. Our resident pharmacist, Nimfualo Bulungu, Namu Bumona.
Ubona bukusana ko no abasike bomla kwa abasike bari basesho bakora pa press briefing.
Okay, thank you very much for having joined us. I'm Elias Munsha. This has been TV Bakwetu with General Norman Chipakopako and our resident pharmacist, Mr. Jerome Kanika. Thank you, good night, and God bless you, Zambia.